Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about the decision by Kevin McCarthy to turn over all the footage from January 6th to Fox News. Now, we've talked about that already, but we have some follow-up I wanted to tell you about, and it ain't pretty. First of all, McCarthy is defending himself by saying the rest of the press is just jealous. It's hard to know where to start with that. We're talking about really important footage that belongs to the American people, and that is the sole footage of a momentous, calamitous, historic, harrowing event in the annals of the entire democracy, and that has all these security implications because it potentially reveals the lines of escape in the House, how people will shepherd out representatives in the event of attack, where security cameras are that you can't see. This footage can reveal it. It's a blueprint for potential terrorists like the January 6th crowd to use. And not only does McCarthy give it over, but to a single news source and to the one who is absolutely, we know, fixated on trying to undermine the entire January 6th investigation. So for him to say, well, other people in the press are just jealous and we'll give it to other people eventually, there's no plausible justification. I don't think he's even tried to give one for this preferential treatment to Fox. It would be one thing, still improper, but if they were giving it to a respectable news organization that was going to try to report on it, instead they're giving it to the very people who are going to try to diminish, distort, completely dump all over the January 6th committee. It couldn't be more antithetical to his public role and the defense. So we gave, other press are just jealous. And it's also clear and reinforced now. Why did he do it? Because he promised Marjorie Taylor Greene and the MAGA crazies as a way of finally getting his most dearly loved, would give anything for, Speaker's gavel. All right, but it gets worse. It gets a lot worse. There's a stunning bit of reporting that they are planning to give some of the footage to criminal defendants in the January 6th cases. The mind reels. Barry Loudermilk is a representative, is apparently the moving force behind this, but McCarthy is okay with it. And they are saying, well, everybody deserves due process in this country. Everybody does deserve due process in the country. That's why there's strict rules, both by the Constitution and statute, limiting what prosecutors can do and requiring prosecutors to do certain things, that they are somehow taking it on themselves to play that role instead and potentially gum up the works of pending prosecutions is, probably unconstitutional 6 ways from Sunday. But beyond that, it's just so incredibly, again, antithetical to their public mission. So we'll see if they follow through. They're going to do it on a case-by-case basis, they say, arrogating to themselves, but really the role of both judge and prosecutor to, wherever they deem it fit to basically give some additional evidence that defendants aren't entitled to, or they would get it otherwise, and to just have this leg up. It's, you couldn't imagine an enemy of the state doing more effective work to undercut the Department of Justice's solemn and very difficult duty of doing justice with, this 1,000 member mob. It is beyond outrageous. So there you have it. We'll see if it actually happens, what defendants they deign to give the information to, when McCarthy will deign to give the footage to other members of the media, whether he's done anything. So far, as best we can tell, he's done nothing to cushion the security problems. When the Democrats made anything public, it was after extensive negotiations with law enforcement and the marshals to be sure they weren't jeopardizing the security. One more thing that McCarthy and company don't seem to care about it. In a way they're actually helping if there were to be a future riot at the Capitol, and of course helping the current criminals who stormed the Capitol January 6th as they deem it appropriate for the due process rights of these defendants who are already getting it. Totally out of control, totally antithetical to what government is supposed to do, much less Congress, which has nothing to do with it. These guys are so far upriver, and I think it basically traces to McCarthy's desperation to get the job, and therefore turning over the keys to the kingdom, such as he has them, to the really craziest of the bunch. Okay, so we'll follow this, see if they actually give over evidence, see if the prosecution is able to, DOJ is maybe able to enjoin them from doing it. So it's to be seen whether they'll give over any of this evidence to defendants. Maybe DOJ will try to stop it, but it's tricky for the DOJ to bring a case against Congress. But the whole thing is just, they are so ultra vires would be the legal word. They just are weeding in everyone's garden, and best you can tell, helping however they can the clear enemies of the United States. Not to get too dramatic, but that's really justified. All right, so see what they have up their sleeve next, and whether they're going to be giving over evidence from footage to the January 6th defendants, and whether there is any way to stop that. We'll keep an eye on that. Until then, talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.